Super Frankie Lampard joins us on the phone. Frank, good morning to you.
Hi, Richard. Hi, Andy.
Good morning, Frank. And
how you doing? Good morning.
How are you? I guess now the headache's subsided a little bit after the celebrations.
A little bit, mate. I'll be honest, we did have a couple of days' work after the match, and I think it was Monday or Tuesday I went to get the papers, and I saw my face there with my eyes half shut.
I know.
Just like my dad go after a few wines.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of calmful days since then, actually.
It was a fabulous picture for all that. It told a tale, Frank, didn't it?
You know what, though, we've been waiting so long for that. I think if I didn't have a couple of days, or the lads didn't have a couple of days celebrating it, then there'd be something wrong with it, so...
Quite right.
You know.
Quite right.
Yeah.
Thoughts as you put the ball down to take that penalty? What was going through your head?
Well, I mean, the usual in that situation. There's nothing worse, I'll be honest, as a player. And whoever says that they enjoy that long walk and the actual strike, I think is a liar. So I think it was a situation where we was one down in the shootout, and I don't know, really, just determined. I was trying to stay focused. I'd lost the toss, so we was obviously stuck down the Bayern Munich end. But I just think it was one of those things. I think we lost basically everything was against us throughout the run to the things. It just seemed to work in our favour every time.
Frank, why didn't you take the first one? I'm thinking as I'm watching the whole gather, I thought, yeah, you probably put your best penalty. You had to go first or last, don't you? But why didn't you go first?
I'll be honest, Andy. Robbie came up to me and said, do you want to take a penalty? And I said, yeah. He said, which one? And I said, I don't care. I don't mind, really.
Right.
And he had me down and he went, all right, you're 5. And then I thought, all right, fair enough. And then he came back to me and said, well, actually, you're 3. I think Didier had asked to take. I read afterwards that Didier asked to take the last one.
Right.
I suppose it was sort of written in the stars for him. Now we've seen everything that's gone on. But no, I was happy really with whatever I took, and pretty suited him in the end.
Can you really believe yet, Frank, what you've achieved, you boys at Chelsea, after an extraordinary, sequence of 3 matches, really?
I mean, no, not really, I'll be honest. I mean, it does sort of slowly sink in, and it's just been such a long time, and every year we get asked, how frustrated are you? Is this one going to elude you and all that sort of stuff? And if you're really honest, you kind of wonder if it will. I mean, I'm 33 now, Didier's 34. It's well documented how we've got a few older boys in the team, and we can't. This was the one that might slip away because it gets harder every year, and that's a bit cliche, but it does. Barcelona improve, Madrid, all these teams improve, and you wonder. So the fact that we've finally done it, and it's kind of like that's the full set. It's something very special to all of us, I think.
Frank, can you remember much about the game? People say when you play in a final, take the time out to remember it. Can you remember vividly every part of the game?
No, not really. I understand what they're saying now. Yeah. I mean, I watched this of it back on German TV the night at about 6 in the morning. I can't remember all of it that well. but I would like. I was just thinking at the song actually. I'd like to get a DVD and actually sit and watch every bit of it because it's such a focus to them games and it's such an occasion that you can't always sort of stop and suck it in for any minute. So I can't quite remember sort of certain parts of it. It is a bit of a bit fuzzy in the mind, but I think you remember the celebrations in the end parts.
Yeah. Was it different being skipper on the night?
It felt very special personally. It did. I've got to say. I mean, I was with the skipper thing. I'm always pleased to take the armband when John doesn't play, but it's not it's not a massive ego thing for me. I just love playing for the club. But on a night like that, when you do lead the team, you take that bit of responsibility out on the pitch with you, and when you kind of look back and realise what a special that was for the club. Obviously, it was huge for me to do it on the night, yeah. What
about when Arjen Robben has his penalty saved? Is that a point where you think, actually, this might just be our night again?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely the point. And the point where the ref gave the penalty was about the point where you think, oh, no, not another one. Another year where we sort of fell at one of the last hurdles. So I think I wasn't, when he got the penalty, I thought, well, here we go. And I remember David Luiz kept saying to me, believe, and all that he's going to miss it.
Really?
Yeah, he did, and to be fair, he turned my head because at that time I was thinking, oh no, here we go, and that sort of changed my mind on it. And then the big man done what he's done. I mean, I've seen Peter, I've got to say, over the last 8 years where he's been at the club, penalty wasn't maybe his strongest thing in his early years, and I've seen him enough work hard to work out where people are going to put them, to work out in training how to put players off, and he saved so many big ones for me, obviously.
Sorry, Andy, were you watching, by the way? Were you watching as he took it?
Yes, I was watching. Yeah, I don't do all that sort of turn around and what's the thought. I need to see what's going on.
Yeah, Bastian Schweinsteiger wasn't watching. He was did you know that he was in his own penalty area?
I saw it after the keeper, wasn't he? He wasn't looking. No, I mean, I think Rio does that. I've seen Rio do that.
That's why I asked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely watched.
Do you think, Frank, there was a little gap before with the penalty being given, and obviously some treatment being given to Ribery at the time, and Robin had the ball. Were you aware of John Obi Mikel nipping away in his ears as he was walking around?
No, I wasn't aware of that. I heard that afterwards, but I mean, I've been obviously in that situation before, and the longer time goes by, and you know it as a player yourself, the longer time goes by, and the pressure of the moment, particularly in a final. And also, I think the fact that I and Robin and Peter Cech were pretty much best buddies at our place, so they know each other well as well. So I think probably a lot of things going through his mind, and then Obi gets in his ear and starts telling him he's going to miss him. It all adds up, yeah.
And what about the equaliser? What a header, wasn't it?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I was at the near post, and I just felt a whoosh come past me. I mean, I was never going to get anything on him. I would have flicked it over the bar or something. But he comes through, and I mean, I watched his first goal. He scored at Chelsea on Sky earlier against Palace, and he attacked it. And I remember when he scored that goal, thinking, "Wow, this fella can have power." And then he's gone and done it in that arena on his last game. I mean, without that, obviously, we go and lose the game. So it just shows you how much good he has been important to us over the years and on that night.
Are you disappointed he's made the decision, Frank, to leave you?
You know what, I'm not, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I think it's obviously a massive hole at the club, but I love Didier as a fella, as a bloke, and I think he deserves everything he gets. He deserves to win it. He deserves to go out on a massive finish like he has done, and I just wish him all the best. I hope he makes the right choice for him. I'm sure he will. Yeah. And it's been an absolute pleasure to play with him, you know. So I think every quote he's made today in his press conference yesterday, where it was, speaks volumes of him. He's a gentleman as a fella and a great player.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We were talking about him earlier, and I said, Frank, at his best, he was certainly right up there, wasn't he? One of the very, very best. Yeah,
it's certainly for me. I mean, he was before the other night for me, but I think it's just confirmed it. You talk about the Henrys and Rooney, Bergkamps, all the great, and I didn't see him get too many mentions for the Premier League team of 20 years.
No, that's right.
And I'll be honest, maybe because people like to make a fuss out on the other side of it. But having played with him, I'll tell you, he's without a doubt the best striker I've played with. His all-round game is absolutely immense. And for me, he should be right up there when you talk about the Henrys and whatever.
Yeah. Frank, absolutely delighted for you personally. I think, as you say, you've been waiting a long time. This does complete the set, and if anybody deserved it, you do. Well played.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Well done, son.
And my dad said, when's he going to get that lunch?
I know! I keep saying to Keezy, tell your dad we need to go for... Get on the phone. He's senior Frankie Lampard.
We have rung him a couple of times. He's gone missing, I have to tell you.
Well, he's been known to do that. I know he's sitting in his car listening, so you'll have to give him a ring later on.
Yeah, you can give us a ring. We'll do that.
All right.
Frank, enjoy the Euros and the rest of your day. Thanks.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers, buddy. That's Super Frankie Lampard.